I discovered my family hosted a Christmas dinner without me, complete with matching sweaters, a 12-foot tree, and relatives I'd never met. The photos were all over Facebook. When I called my mom, she laughed. "You live too far away, honey. We didn't want to bother you." I lived 45 minutes away, but I wasn't too far to pay their mortgage, utilities, insurance, and my brother's college tuition for 8 years straight. That night, I made a decision that would change everything. I logged into my bank account and canceled 47 automatic payments. No warning, no explanation, just silence. If you're watching this, please subscribe and let me know where you're watching from, especially if you've ever felt like your family's personal bank. I'm Holly, 32, and this is how I learned that sometimes the best gift you can give yourself is the gift of boundaries. For 8 years, I'd built my entire identity around being the perfect daughter. Every morning, I'd wake up at 5 a.m. in my 400 square foot studio apartment, the one with the broken heater and the view of the dumpster, and head to my job as chief accountant at Morrison and Associates. 60 hours a week, sometimes 70 during tax season, all so I could maintain what I thought was my family's love. The first of every month was like clockwork. My phone would ring at exactly 9 a.m., Mom's special ringtone, the one I'd set to "Wind Beneath My Wings" because she'd always said I was her angel. "Just checking on my hard-working girl," she'd chirp, her voice dripping with honey. "How's my favorite daughter doing?" I was her only daughter, but somehow that made it feel more special, not less. What she never asked about were the sacrifices. The vacation to Hawaii I'd canceled 3 years running. The dating life that didn't exist because dinner dates cost money I was sending home. The therapy I couldn't afford, even though my doctor had recommended it for my anxiety. The studio apartment I'd lived in since college, telling myself it was temporary, while my parents lived in a 4-bedroom house I was paying for. My Excel spreadsheet of automatic payments had become my second job. 47 separate transactions, all meticulously tracked. Mom and Dad's mortgage, $1,850. Their utilities package, $400. Health insurance, $600. Car insurance, $280. Dad's shop lease, $2,200. Tyler's tuition, $2,100. His meal plan, $500. His car payment, $380. The list went on. Every month, $8,200 left my account before I even paid my own rent. But why did I keep such detailed records if I trusted them completely? Christmas had always been our sacred time. For 15 years, without fail, I'd driven those 45 minutes home every December 23rd, my Honda Civic packed with presents I'd spent months selecting. Mom's tradition was specific: arrive by noon, help with decorations until sunset, then cook together while listening to Bing Crosby. It was the one time of year when being a Fairmont felt like belonging to something magical. This year I'd started shopping in October. Dad's vintage Omega watch sat wrapped in silver paper, $200 I'd saved by skipping lunches. Tyler's new gaming laptop waited in festive green, another $800 from my emergency fund. Mom's designer purse, the exact one she'd admired at Nordstrom, nestled in gold tissue, $890 from my car repair savings. Even Jessica, Tyler's girlfriend I'd only met twice, had a carefully chosen gift card to her favorite spa. By December 20th, everything was ready. I'd even taken December 23rd off work, the first personal day I'd requested all year. My apartment smelled like gingerbread from the cookies I'd baked for the family cookie exchange. The ugly Christmas sweater Mom bought me 5 years ago hung pressed and ready, but Mom hadn't called to confirm. Usually by December 15th, she'd phone with the menu assignments and a reminder to bring my special cranberry sauce. This year, silence. When I'd texted on December 18th, asking what time to arrive, she'd responded hours later with just, "Let me check with your father." December 22nd came. Still no confirmation. I called that evening, catching Mom during what sounded like dishes clanking. "Oh, honey, about Christmas," she'd said, her voice oddly distant. "We're keeping things really simple this year. You know how it is." Something in her tone made my stomach tighten, but I pushed the feeling away. December 26th. I sat alone in my apartment, eating leftover Chinese takeout from the only place open on Christmas. The fortune cookie remained unopened. I didn't need more false promises. My phone buzzed with post-Christmas social media updates, and out of habit more than interest, I opened Facebook. Jessica's profile appeared in my feed. Tyler's girlfriend had posted an album, Fairmont Family Christmas 2024. My thumb hesitated over the first photo. Then I clicked. 47 photos. I counted them twice, my heart hammering against my ribs. The first showed my parents' house transformed into a winter wonderland. Professional lighting, a massive tree that had to be 12 feet tall, garland on every surface. The second, Mom and Dad in matching red sweaters with Fairmont Family Christmas 2024 embroidered in gold. I scrolled faster. Tyler and Jessica, three cousins from Mom's side I hadn't seen in years. Dad's brother from Arizona. Neighbors. Mom's book club friends. People I didn't even recognize. All wearing those matching sweaters. All raising champagne glasses in my parents' living room. Photo 23 stopped my breath. The dining room table, extended with both leaves, set for at least 25 people. My grandmother's china, the Christmas centerpiece I'd made in high school, the crystal glasses that only came out for special family. Mom stood at the head, mid-toast, her face glowing with joy I hadn't seen in years. The caption under that photo, Margaret giving the most beautiful speech about family being everything. The last photo was a group shot on the front lawn, everyone bundled in coats, sparklers in hand, family, spelled out in lights behind them. 53 people had liked it. 12 had commented variations of best Christmas ever. My hands shook as I counted the faces. 32 people at a simple Christmas. My fingers trembled as I hit Mom's contact. 3 rings, 4. She was going to let it go to voicemail. Holly? Her voice was breathless, laughing. Music and voices filled the background. They were still celebrating. Mom! The word came out cracked. I saw the photos. Silence. Then a light laugh, the kind she used when returning items at stores. Oh, honey, Jessica and her social media. You know how young people are. 32 people, Mom. Now, Holly. You said you were keeping it simple. She sighed, and I heard her moving to somewhere quieter. You live too far, honey. 45 minutes each way in holiday traffic? We didn't want to burden you. I drive that every single... Besides, she continued, her voice shifting to that reasonable tone that always made me feel unreasonable. You're always so busy with work. We didn't want to interrupt your important schedule. Tyler's laughter erupted in the background, followed by Dad's voice calling out something about charades, my family, having game night, without me. Let me talk to Dad. Oh, he's busy with... Mom. The phone rustled. Holly? Dad's voice slightly slurred. He'd been drinking his special occasion scotch. Don't be dramatic, Princess. It was just a little gathering. A little gathering with matching sweaters? Your mother ordered too many. Had to use them somehow. He chuckled like we were sharing a joke. Look, you're making too much of this. We'll see you next year. Dad, I was free. I took the day off. I have presents. Well, nobody asked you to do all that. His tone sharpened. You always do too much, Holly. It makes people uncomfortable. The line went quiet except for the party continuing behind him. I have to go, he said. Your mother made pie. He hung up. I opened my laptop with the mechanical precision of someone defusing a bomb. My banking app required two-factor authentication. Funny how I protected my money better than my heart. The transaction history loaded, 5 years of data sprawling across my screen like a crime scene. I created a new Excel spreadsheet. Family support 2019-2024. My fingers moved on autopilot, the accountant in me taking over when the daughter couldn't function. Mortgage payments to Wells Fargo, $1,850 monthly, 60 months. $111,000. Utilities to various providers, $400 average monthly, $24,000. Insurance premiums, health, car, home, $880 monthly, $52,800. Tyler's tuition to State University, $2,100 monthly, 40 months, $84,000. Dad's shop lease to Commercial Properties, LLC, $2,200 monthly, 36 months, $79,200. The numbers kept climbing. Car repairs, Mom's dental work, Tyler's spring break trips, Dad's new tools for the shop, the emergency when Mom's sister needed bail, the loan for Tyler's car that was never mentioned again. 5 years, $247,000. I minimized the spreadsheet and opened my own budget. Rent for my studio, $750. My 11-year-old Honda's insurance, $80. Groceries, $200 monthly because I'd learned to love rice and beans. No savings account, no vacation fund, no retirement beyond the employer minimum. A text popped up from Mom. "Hope you're not sulking. That's so unattractive, honey." I switched back to the bank screen. The patterns were so obvious now. Mom's calls on the 1st of each month, never the 2nd, never the 31st, always after the automatic payments cleared. Tyler only texted when his tuition was due. Dad's check-ins coincided with his shop lease dates. I'd been their ATM with a heartbeat, a direct deposit they'd learned to count on. My cursor hovered over the automatic payments tab. The photos on Facebook became a gateway to memories I'd been too blind to see. I searched Fairmont in Jessica's profile and found an archive of exclusion. Tyler's graduation party, May 2023. Celebrating our college grad. 64 photos. The party I'd unfortunately missed because Mom told me the wrong date. Oh, honey, I said Saturday, not Sunday. These things happen. Mom's 60th birthday cruise, March 2024. Family only, the invitation had said. But there was Cousin Rachel, who I'd met exactly once. There was Mom's hairdresser. There was the neighbor who'd moved in 6 months ago. "You're so busy, sweetheart. We didn't want to pressure you to take time off." Dad's retirement party from his first job, September 2023. "Keeping it small," he'd assured me. The photos showed at least 40 people at the country club I'd never been to. "You wouldn't have enjoyed it, Princess. All old shop talk. 4th of July barbecue. Just the 4 of us this year. 20 people in red, white, and blue. Easter brunch. Very casual. Full formal dining, even Tyler's girlfriend's birthday party, at my parents' house, with my grandmother's china. Each event meticulously documented on social media, none of which I followed because Holly doesn't do that Facebook stuff, as Mom told everyone. Except I did. I just wasn't Facebook friends with my own family. Tyler had ignored my friend request 3 years ago. Mom said she didn't know how to add people. The pattern was surgical in its precision. They remembered me every 1st of the month when automatic payments processed. They forgot me for every moment that mattered. I wasn't family, I was a subscription service, and like any subscription you don't value anymore, it was time to cancel. 2 a.m., December 27th. I sat in my dark apartment, laptop screen the only light, casting shadows that felt appropriate for what I was about to do. No wine for courage, no tears for drama. Just me, 4 bank websites, and a decision that had been 5 years in the making. Wells Fargo first. I logged in with fingers that didn't shake anymore. Automatic payments tab. Mom and Dad's mortgage, scheduled for January 1st. Cancel. "Are you sure?" the website asked. Yes. More sure than I'd ever been about anything. Chase account next. The utilities bundle. Electric, gas, water, internet, all canceled with 4 clicks. The car insurance, the health insurance. Gone. Bank of America. Tyler's tuition payment, set for January 5th. His meal plan. His parking pass. His fraternity dues that I'd somehow started paying 2 years ago. Cancel, 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 cancel. The local credit union where I kept Dad's shop payments. Lease, equipment rental, business insurance. The automated supply orders he'd convinced me to help with temporarily 18 months ago. All of it. Cancelled. 47 automatic payments in total. I counted them like a rosary of financial freedom. Each cancellation felt like removing a chain I'd wrapped around myself, link by link, payment by payment, thinking it was love. My phone sat silent on the table. No midnight text from Tyler asking if that thing had gone through. No early morning call from Mom about banking errors, just silence. I pulled up my contacts and scrolled to Marcus Smith. Diane had given me his number 6 months ago. Just in case you ever wake up, she'd said. A financial attorney who specialized in family exploitation cases. I typed out an email. I need a consultation about protecting my assets and documenting financial abuse. Available January 2nd? Then I opened a new spreadsheet. This one wasn't for tracking what I'd given. It was for planning what I'd keep. My money, my peace, my self-respect. The clock hit 3 a.m. In 29 days, their world would change. They'd call it betrayal. I'd call it justice. They'd say I destroyed the family. I'd say I stopped enabling their destruction of me. I closed my laptop and went to bed. For the first time in 8 years, I didn't set my alarm for 5 a.m. Perfect daughters needed their sleep. But I wasn't trying to be perfect anymore. January 1st arrived with Mom's call at 9 a.m. sharp. I watched my phone light up with her photo, the one from 5 Christmases ago when I was still invited. Wind Beneath My Wings played through 3 cycles before falling silent. The voicemail notification popped up immediately. Hi, sweetie. Happy New Year. Just checking on my hardworking girl. Call me back. January 2nd. Another voicemail, slightly less sweet. Holly, it's Mom. You must be busy. Give me a ring when you get this. January 3rd, a text from Tyler. Hey sis, everything okay? Mom's worried. I almost laughed. Mom was worried about her direct deposit, not her daughter. I wasn't hiding. I went to work, grabbed coffee at my usual spot, even ran into Mom's friend Linda at Whole Foods. Holly, your mom's been trying to reach you. I smiled. New Year's resolution, digital detox. Linda looked confused but didn't push. January 5th brought the first crack. Dad called twice, his voicemail. Holly, there seems to be some banking glitch. The mortgage thing didn't go through. Can you look into it? You're so good with that computer stuff. That evening, my phone rang with a number I hadn't seen in months. Diane. Finally did it? Her voice held no judgment, just understanding. How did you? Your mother called me screaming about banking errors and asking if you were in the hospital. She paused. I told her I saw you at yoga yesterday looking healthier than ever. I don't do yoga. You should start, great for setting boundaries. I could hear her smile. Proud of you, kiddo, it was about damn time. After we hung up, I did something I hadn't done in years. I cooked myself a real dinner. Salmon, asparagus, even opened a bottle of wine. I ate at my tiny table and didn't check my phone once. By January 15th, the voicemails had evolved from confused to panicked. Dad's latest. Holly, this is serious. The bank says we're behind on the mortgage. There must be some mistake. Call me immediately. January 20th brought Tyler to my office building. Security called up. Ms. Fairmont? Your brother is here, but he's not on your approved visitor list. He's not approved, I said simply. Through the security camera feed on my desk phone, I watched Tyler's face turn red. He was wearing the designer jacket I'd bought him last year, arguing with the guard, gesturing wildly. The guard remained unmoved, bless professional security. This is insane, Tyler's voice carried through the phone. Tell her it's an emergency. Sir, you need to leave or I'll have to escort you out. January 25th. Mom's voicemails had transformed completely. Gone was the honey-sweet tone. Holly Marie Fairmont? I don't know what game you're playing, but this is not funny. Your father's shop is in trouble. Tyler might lose his scholarship. Call me. Now. The neighbors started getting involved. Mrs. Patterson from across the street sent me a Facebook message. Your mom asked me to check if you're okay. She seems very worried. Then came the cousin texts. People who hadn't contacted me in years suddenly remembered I existed. Hey, Holly, your mom is really concerned. Maybe give her a call? Delete. Holly, what's going on with you and your parents? Delete. This is really selfish, Holly. Block. But the most telling message came from Jessica, Tyler's girlfriend. Tyler says you've gone crazy and cut them off financially? That's so cold. They're your family. Interesting. So Tyler knew exactly what was happening, which meant they all did. The banking errors narrative had already fallen apart inside the family. They knew I'd pulled the plug. If you're finding value in Holly's story, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Have you ever been in a situation where your family only valued your financial support? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story might help someone else recognize their worth. Let's continue with what happened when the bills started piling up. Diane invited me to our old coffee spot, the one where she'd tried to warn me 3 years ago. I'd dismissed her concerns then. They're family, I'd said. She'd stirred her latte and replied, So am I, and I'm telling you, they're using you. Now she sat across from me, same corner booth, different understanding between us. Your mother called me 17 times yesterday. She pulled out her phone, showing the missed call log. She's getting desperate. What did she say? That you've had a mental breakdown, that you're being influenced by someone, maybe a boyfriend who's isolating you from family. Diane laughed bitterly. I told her the only influence was reality finally breaking through. She reached into her purse, pulling out a business card. Marcus Smith, financial attorney. He specializes in family financial abuse cases. Abuse seems like a strong word. Holly, Diane's voice was firm. Your mother told me 3 years ago that you were her retirement plan. Direct quote. She laughed about how you'd never say no because you were too desperate for approval. My coffee turned cold in my hands. There's more. At Thanksgiving 2 years ago, the one you weren't invited to, she called you the family investment that actually paid off. Your dad laughed. Tyler said at least you were good for something. You were there? I left after that comment, told them I was sick. She reached across the table, squeezing my hand. I've been keeping records, Holly. Screenshots of your mom's posts about their vacations, their shopping trips, their renovations, all while you lived in that shoebox apartment. Why? Because I knew this day would come, and when it did, you'd need proof that you weren't crazy. She slid Marcus's card across the table. Call him, today. January 28th turned my professional life into a battlefield. 87 missed calls in 3 days. My phone became unusable, constantly lighting up with Mom, Dad, Tyler, even numbers I didn't recognize, relatives recruited for the assault. Then Tyler crossed the line. I was presenting quarterly reports to the board when my assistant knocked urgently. Ms. Fairmont, your brother is in the lobby. He's making a scene. Through the glass conference room walls, I could see him in the reception area, gesturing wildly at our receptionist. His voice carried, She's stealing from our family. Elder abuse. I need to see her now. I'm so sorry, I told the board. Please excuse me for one moment. Security was already moving toward Tyler when I reached the lobby. 20 colleagues watched from their desks, some filming on their phones. Holly! Tyler spotted me, his face red, designer clothes wrinkled like he'd slept in them. You're destroying our family over a Christmas dinner? Are you insane? Sir, you need to leave, security intervened. She owes us, Tyler shouted, struggling against the guard's grip. 8 years of supporting us and she thinks she can just stop? Dad's shop is closing. I'm getting expelled. The lobby went silent. Even the security guard looked shocked. "Tyler," I said calmly, aware of every phone recording, "I don't owe you anything. You're our family. Family takes care of each other?" Interesting definition of each other. I turned to security. "Please escort him out. If he returns, call the police." As security led him away, Tyler made one last desperate reveal. "Mom and Dad just bought a BMW in November. How could you do this to them?" HR called me in an hour later. "Holly, we need to discuss the disruption to our workplace." February 1st arrived like a symphony of consequences. Diane forwarded me a text from Mom. "Power company shut off our electricity. In winter. Your father's shop locked for non-payment. Are you happy now?" The family group chat I'd been added to without consent exploded with messages. Cousin Sarah. "Aunt Margaret says Holly's having a breakdown." Uncle Tom. "What's this about money?" Relatives I hadn't heard from in years suddenly had opinions about my selfishness. Tyler's academic email, forwarded by 3 different cousins for maximum guilt. Urgent. Student account suspended for non-payment. Registration canceled effective immediately. But the real escalation came February 3rd. Mom sent a group text to 30 family members. "Emergency family meeting, February 10th, 6 p.m., Olive Garden on Maple Street. Holly's mental health crisis and our family's future." The replies poured in. "We'll be there, Margaret." "So worried about Holly." "Family supports family." Then a private text from Mom. "You forced our hand. We're going to discuss your mental state and what's best for everyone. I suggest you attend." Dad's follow-up was less subtle. "Your mother's invited everyone. Everyone. Your cousins, my siblings, the neighbors, even Pastor Williams. You can come explain yourself or we'll explain for you." That evening, Marcus Smith returned my call. "Holly, I've reviewed the documents Diane sent. This is textbook financial exploitation. The public meeting they're planning? That's attempted coercion through public humiliation. What should I do?" "Document everything. Bring receipts, literal receipts. And if you're going to attend, don't go alone." Mom's final text that night. "Private dining room reserved. 32 confirmed attendees. We're all very concerned about you, sweetie." 32 people. The same number as their Christmas dinner. This wasn't concern. It was a tribunal. Marcus Smith's office felt like a war room. February 5th, 5 days before the ambush, and we were building my defense. 5 years of bank statements. I handed him the printed stack. Every automatic payment highlighted. He whistled low. $247,000. "Holly, this is more than most people's mortgages." I thought I was helping. "You were being exploited. There's a difference." He pulled up his laptop. "Diane sent me something interesting, a video from their Christmas party." My stomach clenched as he hit play. There was Mom, champagne glass raised, voice carrying clearly. "To family who matters, and to our darling Holly, not here, but her direct deposits never miss a party." Laughter. Everyone laughing. Then Dad's voice. "Our little cash cow." More laughter. Tyler adding, "At least she's good for something." Diane got this from Jessica's Instagram stories. She saved it before it expired. Marcus paused the video. "This is your smoking gun." We spent 3 hours organizing everything. Bank statements merged into a master spreadsheet, comparative analysis of my lifestyle versus theirs. The video converted to multiple formats, everything loaded onto a presentation that could run from my phone. "What about the public humiliation factor?" I asked. "Use it. They're expecting you to come alone, shamed, defensive. Instead, you bring witnesses and evidence, turn their weapon against them." "Should I warn them?" "Absolutely not. They didn't warn you about Christmas. They don't get warnings about consequences." Diane arrived with coffee and her own ammunition, screenshots of Mom's Facebook posts, vacations to Vegas, shopping sprees at Nordstrom, the new BMW, all dated while I was paying their bills. "Ready for this?" she asked. "No," I admitted, "but I'm doing it anyway." Marcus smiled. "That's the best kind of ready." The formal email arrived February 8th at 7 p.m., with 32 recipients CC'd. Mom had used her church stationery template, angels in the corners, script font, maximum emotional manipulation. Subject: urgent. Intervention for Holly's mental health crisis. Dear family and friends, it is with heavy hearts that Robert and I reach out during this difficult time. Our daughter Holly is experiencing what we can only describe as a mental health emergency. She has cut off all contact and terminated financial agreements that have been in place for years, leaving our family in crisis. We are gathering to address this situation with love and support. Holly needs to understand how her actions affect everyone who loves her. Please join us for this important family meeting. Date: February 10th, 6 p.m. Location: Olive Garden, Maple Street, private dining room. Purpose: supporting Holly through her crisis. With love and concern, Margaret and Robert Fairmont. The replies flooded in, all visible to everyone. Praying for Holly! We'll be there to support you. Mental health is so important. Good for you for addressing this. Poor Holly, she must be struggling. Then came the private messages to me. Cousin Emma: Holly, are you okay? Your mom seems really worried. Uncle Tom: whatever's going on, family meeting isn't the place. Just apologize. 3 neighbors: your parents are devastated. Maybe you should talk to someone professional? But one message stood out. Pastor Williams: Holly, I'll be there, but something feels off about this. If you need support, bring it. Mom's masterstroke came an hour later. A Facebook post: please pray for our family during this difficult time. Mental illness is nothing to be ashamed of. We just want our daughter back. 43 reactions, 27 comments of support, 5 shares. They'd weaponized concern into a public trial. February 10th, 5:55 p.m. I stood outside Olive Garden with Marcus on my right, Diane on my left. Through the window I could see the private dining room. 30 people already assembled, my parents holding court at the head table like judges at a tribunal. Remember, Marcus adjusted his tie, you don't have to justify anything, just present facts. I'd chosen my outfit carefully, not the casual clothes they'd expect from mentally unstable Holly, but my best boardroom suit, charcoal gray, perfectly tailored, the one I wore for CEO presentations. My hair pulled back professionally, minimal makeup, everything screaming competence, not crisis. We entered at exactly 6 p.m. The hostess, clearly briefed, looked nervous. The Fairmont party? Yes. The walk to the private room felt like approaching a courtroom. Through the glass doors I could see them, parents at the center, Tyler and Jessica to their right, relatives arranged by importance. Mom had even printed name cards. The moment I opened the door, 30 heads turned. The whispers stopped mid-syllable. Mom's face cycled through surprise, confusion, then calculation as she registered Marcus and Diane. Holly! She stood, arms opening for a hug I didn't accept. We were so worried. And you brought friends? My attorney and my aunt. I kept my voice steady, professional. I understood this was about family business. The room shifted. Attorney? Someone whispered. Dad's face darkened. What do you need a lawyer for? We're your parents. Exactly why I need one. Tyler stood abruptly. This is ridiculous. She's obviously having some kind of episode. Sit down, Tyler. My voice cut through his. Or would you prefer to discuss your November BMW purchase first? The room went silent. Mom's mask slipped for just a second. Pure rage. Before she reformed it into concern. Everyone, please, let's all sit. We're here to help Holly. Mom had prepared a performance. She stood slowly, dabbing at her eyes with a tissue that came away suspiciously dry. Thank you all for coming to support our family. Her voice trembled perfectly. As you know, Holly has always been our special girl, so driven, so successful, but sometimes that pressure She pulled out a photo album, baby pictures, Holly's first day of school, graduation. We gave her everything: love, support, the best education we could afford. That I paid for, I said quietly. Mom continued as if I hadn't spoken. But last month, something snapped. She cut us off completely. No warning, no explanation. Her voice rose. The house is in foreclosure. Robert's business, destroyed. Tyler's education, ruined. Dad stood next, his working man persona fully activated. I had to let 5 employees go, 5 families without income because Holly decided to have her crisis. Tyler's turn. He stood with Jessica's hand on his shoulder for support. I was expelled, mid-semester, my entire future gone, because my sister is jealous about a Christmas dinner. Gasps rippled through the room. Aunt Linda shook her head. Cousins exchanged glances. The neighbors looked horrified. She abandoned us, Mom's voice broke. After everything we sacrificed for her. What sacrifices? The words escaped before I could stop them. We raised you! Dad's mask slipped, showing real anger. Fed you, clothed you, loved you. Until I was 18, then I fed, clothed, and funded you. How dare you? Mom clutched her chest. We're your parents. Exactly. I opened my laptop bag. Parents, not dependents, not children, not my financial responsibility. Pastor Williams spoke up. Holly, honoring thy father and mother doesn't mean enabling them. I pulled out my laptop. May I share something with everyone, since we're all here for transparency? I connected my laptop to the room's TV with the calm of someone who'd presented to Fortune 500 boards. The Excel sheet filled the screen, 5 years of payments, color-coded and categorized. Let me show you what abandonment really looks like. The first slide, $247,000 in bold red numbers. This is what I've paid for my family over 5 years, not loans, gifts, while living in a 400-square-foot studio apartment. I clicked. Photos appeared side by side. My studio with its peeling paint and broken heater next to their 4-bedroom house. My 2012 Honda next to their new BMW. Mom, you said you sacrificed everything for me. Could you tell everyone what sacrifices you made while I paid your mortgage? Her face went white. Holly, this is inappropriate. Click. They're Vegas vacation photos from Mom's Facebook. This was last March, the same month you told me you couldn't afford Dad's blood pressure medication. Click. Tyler's spring break in Cancun. Paid for with my emergency fund while I ate ramen. Click. The shop's financial records. Dad's business that's destroyed? It was failing for 3 years. I was the only thing keeping it afloat. The room had gone completely silent. Relatives leaned forward, calculating, realizing. But here's the best part. I clicked again. This is why we're really here. The Christmas video began playing. Mom's voice filled the room. To family who matters. The cheerful clinks of glasses, then crystal clear. Holly's not here, but her direct deposits never miss a party. The laughter that followed sounded obscene in the silent room. Dad's voice next. Our little cash cow. Tyler. At least she's good for something. More laughter. The camera panned across faces, many of them in this room right now, all laughing at the joke that was my absence and my money. I let it play through twice. 32 people at Christmas. 30 people here now. Most had been at both events. You hosted Christmas without me while spending my money, then called this meeting to publicly shame me for stopping payments. I looked directly at Mom. But I'm the one who abandoned family? Play it again, Cousin Sarah said, her voice sharp. Did Margaret really say that? I clicked replay. The dining room at Christmas filled the screen again, professionally lit, decorated like a magazine spread. Mom stood at the head of the table in a dress I recognized, the $400 one from Nordstrom I'd seen on her credit card statement, the one she'd bought while telling me they needed help with utilities. Her voice rang out clear. Before we eat, I want to make a toast, glasses raised. To family who matters, to those who show up, to those who understand that presence is more important than presence. Hear, hear, the crowd responded. And, Mom continued, her voice taking on that fake sweet tone I knew so well, let's not forget our darling Holly. Not here, of course. She's too important, too busy with her big career. But don't worry, her direct deposits never miss a party. The laughter was worse the second time. Uncle Tom, who'd told me to just apologize, raising his glass. Aunt Linda, who'd seemed so concerned, giggling behind her hand. Neighbors who'd checked on me out of worry, toasting to my absence. Wait, Pastor William said. There's more. There was. The camera kept rolling. Dad stood up, scotch in hand. To our retirement plan, I mean, our daughter. More laughter. She might not be here, but her bank account is. Tyler's girlfriend Jessica could be heard. Is she really that boring or just stupid? Tyler's response? Both. But at least she's good for something. This tuition isn't paying itself. The camera caught Mom again, talking to someone off screen. Holly's our little ATM. Push the right buttons, usually guilt, and money comes out. She's been desperate for approval since she was 5. It's almost too easy. Turn it off, Mom's voice cracked. Real emotion this time. Turn it off. Why? I asked. Embarrassed? This is your Christmas celebration, your family gathering, the one I lived too far from. 45 minutes was too far, but my money traveled just fine. The room erupted. Cousin Sarah stood up. Margaret, how could you? Uncle Tom looked sick. 3 neighbors were already heading for the door. That's taken out of context, Dad shouted. What context makes this better? Pastor Williams asked, his voice deadly quiet. What context makes calling your daughter an ATM acceptable? Mom tried one last manipulation. We were drinking. It was jokes. Holly, sweetheart, you know we love you. No, I said simply. You love my money. There's a difference. And everyone in this room just heard you admit it. This is where everything changes. If Holly's courage to stand up resonates with you, please like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's necessary. What would you have done in Holly's position? Let me know in the comments. Now, let's see how the family reacted to being exposed. For 30 eternal seconds, nobody moved, nobody breathed. The only sound was the Christmas video still playing on loop, Mom's laughter echoing like a ghost of cruelty past. Mom's face had gone from white to red to something beyond color, a mottled purple of rage and humiliation. Her perfectly manicured nails dug into the tablecloth. Dad stood frozen, his working man act completely shattered, looking like a con artist caught mid-grift. Tyler broke first, lunging toward my laptop. This is illegal. You can't record. Marcus stepped forward smoothly. Actually, the video was posted publicly on Instagram stories. No expectation of privacy, and attempting to destroy evidence would be assault. Tyler froze, Jessica pulling him back. The relatives had become a jury, and their verdict was visible on every face. Cousin Sarah stood slowly, her voice cutting. Margaret, is this true? Did you really call Holly your retirement plan? It was a joke, Mom's voice cracked. You all know how we joke. I was at that dinner, Mrs. Patterson from next door interrupted. You said the same thing to me privately, that Holly was finally useful for something. The murmur that ran through the room sounded like Judgment Day. We should go, someone said from the back. Then another. This is disgusting. Chairs scraped. People stood. Wait, Mom's desperation broke through. You don't understand. She's destroying our lives. The house that she paid for, Diane spoke for the first time, while you bought BMWs and took vacations. Family helps family, Dad tried. Family doesn't call family an ATM, Pastor Williams replied, standing. I'm deeply disappointed in both of you. The exodus began, not rushed, but deliberate. Relatives gathering coats, avoiding eye contact with my parents, some stopping to squeeze my shoulder or murmur apologies as they passed. With half the room empty, Mom switched tactics like a cornered animal. The tears came, real ones this time, but not from sorrow, from rage. Fine, yes, I said those things, but do you know what it's like? She whirled on the remaining audience. To have a daughter who lords her success over you? Who makes you beg for every penny? I never made you beg, I said quietly. You never even had to ask. It was automatic. Exactly. Dad jumped on this. She set it up so we'd be dependent, so she could control us. Tyler, emboldened, added, She owes us for raising her. Children take care of their parents. When they're elderly, when they can't work. Marcus's voice was clinical. You're both in your 50s, perfectly capable of employment. You don't understand our situation, Mom spun toward the remaining relatives. The economy, Robert's business struggles, Tyler's education. The BMW, Uncle Tom asked dryly. Was that a struggle? That was, we needed reliable transportation. Holly drives a 12-year-old Honda, Diane countered, while paying for your luxury car. The math was happening in real time on everyone's faces. The cousins who'd received graduation gifts of $50 while my parents vacationed in Vegas. The aunts who'd been told the family was struggling while Mom posted shopping hauls. She's trying to destroy us, Tyler shouted. Out of spite, out of jealousy. Jealousy of what? I asked genuinely. The family gatherings I wasn't invited to? The love that only existed on the first of each month? You were always welcome. Stop. My voice cut through Mom's lie. Everyone here saw the Christmas photos. Matching sweaters with Fairmont Family 2024. Sweaters ordered in October. You planned my exclusion for months while cashing my checks. The truth sat in the room like a physical presence, undeniable and damning. Marcus opened his briefcase with the precision of a surgeon. Since we're discussing obligations, let's be clear about the legal framework. He placed documents on the table. No contracts exist between Ms. Fairmont and her parents. No loans were documented. No repayment agreements signed. Every transfer was a gift, legally speaking. But she promised, Mom started. Show me the promise. Written, notarized, witnessed. Marcus waited. No? Then we're discussing gifts, which Miss Fairmont can cease at any time. This is financial abuse, Dad tried. Actually, Marcus pulled out another document. Financial abuse is defined as the illegal or improper use of a vulnerable adult's funds. Ms. Fairmont's parents, both able-bodied and under 60, convinced their daughter to support them through emotional manipulation. That's the actual abuse here. He turned to the remaining audience. If anyone has been told Ms. Fairmont has legal obligations to continue these payments, that's defamation, actionable defamation. The legal terms hung in the air like weapons. Furthermore, Marcus continued, the email calling this meeting, claiming Ms. Fairmont has a mental health crisis, without any medical documentation, that's potentially slander, especially given it was sent to her professional contacts. 3 more relatives quietly left. You can't threaten us, Mom's voice pitched higher. I'm not threatening, I'm clarifying. Ms. Fairmont has been more than generous. That generosity has ended. Any attempts to coerce, manipulate, or defame her will be met with appropriate legal response. He pulled out his phone. I've already documented tonight's event. The false pretenses, the attempt at public humiliation, the admission that you called your daughter an ATM and cash cow. Would you like to continue this discussion in court? The silence that followed was answer enough. The remaining family fractured like a mirror hitting concrete. Aunt Linda, Mom's own sister, stood up first. Margaret, I'm done. 20 years of watching you manipulate this girl, and I said nothing. I'm as guilty as you. She looked at me. Holly, I'm sorry. I should have spoken up years ago. She walked out, but not before adding, I'll be calling you, Holly. The real you, not your bank account. Cousin Sarah followed. You told us Holly was stuck up, that she thought she was better than us. We believed you. She pulled out her phone. I'm adding you on Facebook right now, Holly. The real story needs to be told. But not everyone took my side. Uncle Pete, Dad's brother, sneered. Family is family. You don't air dirty laundry like this. They aired it first, Pastor Williams said quietly. At Christmas, on video, while laughing. The division was geographic now, those supporting me moving toward my side of the room, Mom's defenders clustering near them. Tyler stood alone in the middle until Jessica quietly gathered her purse. Where are you going? Tyler grabbed her arm. Home. This is sick, Tyler. Your sister paid for your entire life while you mocked her. She pulled free. I thought your family was close. Turns out you're just close to her wallet. Babe, wait. But Jessica was gone, the door closing with finality. Diane revealed something that shifted the room again. 3 years ago, Margaret told me Holly would never get married because who else would pay our bills? She laughed about keeping Holly insecure so she'd keep paying. Grandma's best friend, Mrs. Henley, aged 90 and sharp as a blade, spoke up. Your grandmother would be ashamed, Margaret. Absolutely ashamed. The weight of that judgment from the family matriarch's friend was devastating. I stood slowly, gathering the attention of everyone remaining. No anger in my movements, no trembling hands, just the calm of someone who'd finally found their truth. I need to say something, and then I'm leaving. The room stilled. For 8 years, I've lived in a studio apartment with broken heating while paying for your 4-bedroom house. I've eaten rice and beans while funding your restaurant dinners. I've driven the same car since college while you bought luxury vehicles. I looked at each family member. I missed my best friend's wedding because I couldn't afford the plane ticket after paying Tyler's spring break. I haven't been to a doctor in 3 years because I couldn't afford the copay after your insurance. I have no savings, no retirement, no emergency fund. Because every emergency was yours. My voice never rose, never cracked. I did this because I thought love meant sacrifice. That family meant giving everything. But love isn't supposed to be one-directional. Family isn't supposed to be a financial transaction. I turned to my parents. I'm your daughter, not your bank. I love you, but I will no longer pay for your love. The automatic payments are canceled, permanently. This isn't about revenge or the Christmas dinner. It's about finally understanding my worth isn't measured in dollars. You're destroying us, Mom's last desperate plea. No, I'm saving myself. I pulled out a single sheet of paper. This is my new boundary. I'll have a relationship with any family member who wants to know me, not my bank account. My door is open for coffee, for conversation, for genuine connection. But the bank is closed. I place the paper on the table. My contact information, for anyone who wants a real relationship. The silence that followed felt like freedom. I closed my laptop with the finality of closing a chapter. Marcus and Diane flanked me as I gathered my things, their presence a wall of support I'd never had before. You'll regret this, Dad's voice cracked with desperation. When we're on the street, when Tyler's future is ruined, when your mother... When you get jobs, I interrupted, still calm. When you live within your means, when you take responsibility for your own lives. Tyler moved to block the door, his face ugly with rage. You can't just walk away. Watch me. Marcus stepped forward. Mr. Fairmont, please move, or I'll call the police for false imprisonment. Tyler looked to Mom for backup, but she'd collapsed into her chair, the fight finally leaving her. He stepped aside, defeated. As I passed, several relatives stood to follow. Cousin Emma touched my arm. Can we talk? Really talk? I want to know my actual cousin. Call me, I said simply. More followed us to the door. Sarah, Linda, even Pastor Williams. By the time we reached the exit, half the room was walking out with us, leaving my parents and their few defenders in the private dining room that had become their courtroom. At the door, I turned back one last time. Mom and Dad sat at their judge's table, but they looked small now. Exposed. Tyler stood beside them. But even he seemed to understand something had fundamentally shifted. "The offer stands," I said to the room. "Anyone who wants a real relationship, you have my number, but the bank is closed." Then I walked through that door into the February night, and for the first time in 8 years, I could breathe. The cold air felt like freedom. The silence felt like peace. The parking lot became an impromptu receiving line. Relatives I hadn't truly spoken to in years approached with a mix of shame and hope on their faces. Cousin Emma reached me first, tears streaming. "Holly, I'm so sorry. We were told you were too good for us, that you only cared about money and success. Mom said you called us white trash at Thanksgiving." "I wasn't at Thanksgiving. I know that now." She pulled out her phone. "Can I have your real number? Not the family group chat, your actual number?" We exchanged contacts, real ones. Then Sarah approached. "That Christmas video. I was laughing too. I didn't know. I'm sorry." "You didn't know because they controlled the narrative," Diane said gently. "Margaret's been spinning stories about Holly for years." More revelations poured out. Uncle Tom admitted, "They borrowed 3,000 from me last year, said you'd cut them off temporarily over a fight." Aunt Carol, "They told me you were in rehab, that's why you missed Easter." 3 different cousins had been told I was too proud to associate with regular family. "Jesus," someone whispered, "they isolated you completely." Mrs. Patterson, the neighbor, approached hesitantly. "Holly, I helped them, not with money, but I reported back when you seemed happy. They said they were worried about you, but really they were checking if you were dating anyone. Margaret was terrified you'd get married and stop paying." The manipulation ran deeper than I'd imagined. They'd built a network of surveillance, all while spending my money. "We should have a real family dinner," Emma suggested. "Without them. Just the family who actually wants to be family." 15 people agreed immediately. We set a date, next Sunday, potluck style, everyone contributing what they could. A real family dinner where I'd actually be welcome. My phone started exploding before I even reached my car. 217 texts in 2 hours. I sat in my Honda, Diane beside me watching the numbers climb. "Mom, 7:47 p.m. How dare you humiliate us like that?" "Mom, 7:48 p.m. You've destroyed this family." "Mom, 7:52 p.m. Your father is having chest pains." "Mom, 7:53 p.m. Now he's crying. Are you happy?" "Mom, 8:01 p.m. We'll lose everything because of you." "Mom, 8:15 p.m. You're not our daughter anymore." "Mom, 8:16 p.m. I take that back. Please call me." "Mom, 8:22 p.m. Holly, please." Dad's messages were shorter, angrier. "Ungrateful. Selfish. You've killed your mother. This isn't over." Tyler went for pure rage. "I hope you're happy, bitch. My life is ruined. Jessica left me because of you. I'll never forgive you. You owe me my education. I'm going to sue you." But between the vitriol came support. "Emma, you're the strongest person I know." "Sarah, thank you for showing us the truth." "Pastor Williams, your courage today was remarkable." "Linda, proud to be your real aunt." Even unexpected allies. "Jessica, you did the right thing. Tyler's shown his true colors." "Mrs. Henley, your grandmother would be proud." At 9 p.m., Mom sent one final message. "You've killed your father. He's in the hospital. If he dies, it's your fault." Diane immediately called her contacts at the hospital. 10 minutes later, "He's not there, they're lying." I looked at the block button. 8 years of conditioning screamed not to do it. 8 years of guilt said family doesn't block family. But I wasn't their family. I was their ATM. I blocked all 3 numbers. The silence that followed felt like surgery, painful but necessary, removing something that had been poisoning me for years. May arrived with news traveling through the family grapevine. Diane became my gentle informant, sharing updates over our weekly coffee dates. Your parents lost the house to foreclosure last week, she said, stirring her latte. They're living in Tyler's studio apartment now, all three of them in 500 square feet. The irony wasn't lost on me. They were now living in less space than I'd endured for 8 years. Your dad's shop? Closed permanently. He's working at Home Depot now, the same one where you worked summers during high school. She paused. Your mom got a job at the mall, Macy's. She's selling perfume. The woman who'd spent thousands on fragrances was now spritzing strangers for minimum wage. And Tyler? Dropped out officially, working 2 jobs, Starbucks and night shifts at Amazon warehouse. Jessica didn't just leave him. She posted the whole story on social media. He's become somewhat infamous on campus as the guy who lived off his sister while calling her an ATM. I felt nothing. Not satisfaction, not guilt. Just peace. They're experiencing what you lived through, Diane observed. Working multiple jobs, living in cramped spaces, counting pennies. Except they're doing it at their ages, not at 22 like you did. My life, meanwhile, had transformed. With $8,310 monthly staying in my account, I'd moved to a 2-bedroom apartment with actual heating, started a savings account that already held $30,000, bought a reliable car, nothing fancy, a sensible Toyota, but it was new and it was mine. The family's talking, Diane added, about how they never really knew you, how Margaret and Robert kept you hidden while taking your money. There's a lot of anger toward them now. And toward me? Respect, she said simply. You did what none of us had the courage to do. June 15th. Security called from the lobby. Ms. Fairmont? There's an older couple here claiming to be your parents. They're quite insistent. Don't let them up. I'll handle this. Through the security monitor, I watched them in the lobby. 3 months had aged them years. Dad's hair was fully gray now, his shoulders slumped. Mom's perfect appearance had crumbled. Drugstore dye job, no manicure, discount clothes. Please, Mom was begging the security guard. We just need 5 minutes with our daughter. I called Marcus. They're here. Say nothing. I'm sending the cease and desist now. An hour later, a courier delivered their letter to me. They'd slipped it under the building's door. Mom's handwriting, probably perfumed with tears. Dearest Holly, we've had time to reflect on our mistakes. We see now how wrong we were. Family shouldn't be about money, and we're ready to prove that to you. We forgive you for the embarrassment at Olive Garden. We forgive you for sharing that video. We're even willing to forgive the financial abandonment, though it's caused us tremendous hardship. If you resume even half the previous support, we can rebuild our family. Tyler is struggling, but with your help, he could return to school. We're not asking for everything. Just $4,000 monthly would help us get back on our feet. We love you, despite everything. Mom and Dad, P.S. The apartment has a 2nd bedroom. You could move in and save money. They wanted me to pay them rent, to live with them, after everything. Marcus's cease and desist arrived at their apartment that evening. Any further contact would result in a restraining order. The message was clear. The bank wasn't just closed, it had been demolished. Sunday dinners became sacred, but not with the family I was born into, with the family I chose. Emma's house, rotating to Sarah's, sometimes mine. Potluck style. Everyone contributing what they could, no one person bearing the burden. The 3rd Sunday of July, 12 of us gathered at Diane's backyard. Real laughter filled the space, not the performative kind from Mom's gatherings, but genuine joy. Emma's kids called me Aunt Holly and meant it. Sarah's husband thanked me for showing them who real family was. You know what's different? Linda observed, raising her wine glass. No one's keeping score. No one's calculating who brought what, who spent more. We're just here. Pastor Williams had become a regular, offering grace before meals that felt genuine. Thank you for the gift of chosen family, for boundaries that heal, for love that doesn't keep receipts. We shared stories the family had hidden. How Mom had borrowed money from Linda years ago, claiming I refused to help. How she'd told Sarah I thought her kids were poorly raised. How she'd convinced Emma I'd called her husband a loser. All lies designed to keep me isolated, ensuring I had nowhere to turn except them. She was terrified you'd find a support system, Diane explained. People who'd tell you this wasn't normal. Tyler had reached out once through Emma, asking if I'd consider helping with just one semester. Emma told him what I'd said. Holly's helping herself now. These Sunday dinners healed something I didn't know was broken. I learned my cousin Emma was an artist, that Sarah ran a nonprofit, that Uncle Tom had been secretly supporting a food bank for years. I learned who they really were when money wasn't the foundation. To Holly, Diane raised her glass one evening, who finally learned her worth. To family, I countered, who shows up for more than deposits. By September, my bank account looked like someone else's life. $50,000 in savings, more money than I'd ever seen with my name on it. The raise I'd received after the promotion to CFO helped, but mostly, it was the $8,310 monthly that stayed in my account, instead of disappearing into the Fairmont financial black hole. I bought a car. Nothing extravagant, just a reliable 2023 Toyota Camry, but it was new and mine. The Honda, faithful companion through the lean years, went to Emma's teenage daughter, who cried with joy at having her first car. The two-bedroom apartment downtown had windows that actually sealed, heating that worked, and a kitchen with full-sized appliances. I hosted dinner parties now, real ones, where I could afford to cook for friends without calculating the cost per serving. "You look different," my colleague mentioned. "Lighter somehow." I was. The chronic anxiety that had lived in my chest for 8 years had dissipated. I slept through the night without jolting awake on the first of the month. My hair stopped falling out. The stress rash that had been my constant companion disappeared. I took my first vacation in 5 years. Nothing fancy, just a week in Colorado, hiking and breathing mountain air. I posted photos on Facebook, the account where my real family could see them. 37 likes and comments of genuine happiness for me. Mom had created a fake account to stalk me. I knew because she'd accidentally liked a photo before quickly unliking it. I blocked that account too. The financial advisor I'd hired, something I could finally afford, showed me projections. If I continued saving at this rate, I could retire at 60 with security. Home ownership was possible within 2 years. "You are hemorrhaging money," he said bluntly. "This is what normal looks like." October brought an unexpected text from an unknown number. "Holly, it's Tyler. New phone. Please don't block me yet. Can we talk?" I screenshot it to Marcus, who advised, "Your choice, but document everything." We met at a Starbucks, not the one where he worked. He looked different, older. The entitled boy swagger replaced by something resembling humility. Designer clothes swapped for Walmart basics. His hands, once soft, now showed calluses from warehouse work. "I won't ask for money," he started. I need to apologize." I waited. I didn't know. He stared at his coffee. Regular. Not the venti fancy drinks he used to demand. "I mean, I knew you paid for things, but I thought you had so much money. Mom always said you were rich, that tech people made millions." "I make good money, not millions." "I know that now. I've seen your old pay stubs. Mom kept them to track when you got raises." He laughed bitterly. "She had a whole file. Your income, your bonuses, your probable expenses. She knew exactly how much she could take." The violation of privacy shouldn't have surprised me anymore. I was the golden child who did nothing while you were the ATM who did everything. He met my eyes. "That Christmas video, hearing myself call you good for something. I threw up when I got home that night. Jessica was right to leave." "What do you want, Tyler?" "Nothing, just maybe someday, when I've proven I've changed, maybe we could have coffee again. As siblings, not as bank and customer." "Maybe," I said. "Someday." He stood to leave, then turned back. "You saved yourself." I'm proud of you for that. I wish I'd been a brother worth saving for. December 26th, exactly 1 year after discovering the Christmas betrayal. This year's holiday looked nothing like the last 20. Christmas Eve was spent at Emma's house with 15 members of my chosen family. No matching sweaters, no performative toasts, just people who genuinely wanted me there. We played games, exchanged thoughtful gifts that didn't break anyone's budget, and nobody mentioned money once. Christmas Day, I volunteered at a homeless shelter with Pastor Williams. Serving meals to people who'd lost everything, I thought about my parents, now living paycheck to paycheck. They'd chosen their path. These people hadn't. The Facebook memories showed me last year's pain, alone with Chinese takeout. This year's photos showed joy, real smiles, genuine laughter, authentic connection. 43 likes became 300 as my story had somehow spread through extended networks. I'd started a blog, When Family Becomes Financial Abuse. The first post went viral, 50,000 shares in 3 weeks. Messages poured in from others trapped in similar situations, afraid to set boundaries, convinced that DNA meant debt. You gave me courage to stop paying my brother's gambling debts. My mother called me selfish for cutting her off. Your story helped me stay strong. I thought I was alone. Thank you for showing me I'm not. Tyler had kept his distance but sent a text. Merry Christmas, Holly. I'm working today too, thinking of you. No request, no manipulation, just acknowledgement. Mom and Dad, according to the family network, spent Christmas at their studio apartment. No tree, no feast, no gathering. They'd posted nothing on social media. The performance had ended when the funding stopped. I felt no satisfaction in their struggle, but no guilt either. They were living the life they'd chosen, just without my subsidy. As I sit here now, 18 months after that silent December night when I canceled 47 automatic payments, I can finally see the full picture of what my life had been, and what it's become. I wasn't a daughter. I was a financial institution with a pulse. Every interaction carefully orchestrated to maximize withdrawals while minimizing emotional deposits. The love I craved was always just out of reach, dangled like a carrot to keep me running on the hamster wheel of payments. Therapy helped me understand the pattern started young. The childhood praise for being responsible. The teenage years of being told I was special for working multiple jobs. The young adult programming that my worth equaled my net worth. They'd raised me to be their retirement plan, and I'd nearly let them succeed. The blog has become a resource for thousands trapped in similar situations. The common thread in every story, the confusion between love and transaction, the guilt that keeps the payments flowing, the moment of clarity that changes everything. Mine came through Facebook photos, others through overheard conversations, discovered emails, accidental confessions, but always the same revelation. They don't love you, they love what you provide. I don't hate my parents. Hate requires energy I won't give them anymore. I understand them now, their limitations, their greed masquerading as need, their inability to see me as more than a resource. They're living their consequences. Dad at 70, stocking shelves. Mom approaching 60, working retail. Tyler learning at 29 what I knew at 18. That nobody owes you anything. Some relatives judge me still. Family forgives, they say. You'll regret this when they're gone. Maybe, but I would have regretted more dying broke and alone, having given everything to people who couldn't even invite me to Christmas. The money I saved hasn't made me rich, but it's made me whole. I sleep without anxiety. I eat without calculating. I plan a future that's mine. The 2-bedroom apartment will soon be a small house. The emergency fund exists. Retirement is possible. These aren't luxuries. They're what everyone deserves. To those still trapped, still paying, still hoping the next payment will buy the love you're seeking, it won't. Love doesn't have a price tag. Family doesn't require direct deposit. Worth isn't measured in wire transfers. That Christmas dinner they hosted without me was the greatest gift they ever gave. It showed me who they really were. The 47 canceled payments weren't revenge. They were recognition. I recognized I deserve better. I learned that when you stop being someone's ATM, you discover who truly values you as a person. The answer might be not your blood family, and that's okay. Because the family you choose, the one that shows up for you instead of your wallet, that's the family that matters. My name is Holly Fairmont, and I'm no longer accepting withdrawals. The bank is closed, and I've never been richer. Thank you for joining me on this journey of self-discovery and boundary setting. If Holly's story resonated with you, please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more stories about standing up for yourself. Share this with someone who needs to hear that their worth isn't measured in dollars. What boundaries do you need to set in your life? Let me know in the comments below. Remember, you deserve love that doesn't come with a price tag.